kind of performance into this next series? That is the big question. And what also goes along with that, will there be the backup from the likes of Phelps and Henny? Because those are the two players other than Dust2 you look to be your rock. Statistically, it's Phelps as their best overall player. Henny is a solid opper, very good. The duel between him and Nython is going to be something to keep an eye on throughout the entirety of this series. We at least get 2 maps of Counter-Strike, 3, 4 potential here between these two sides. We're here on Nuke. Phelps will drop the dual Berettas over to Henny. No Way has a pair as well. No kit for the CT side and no utility as well. They're going raw firepower here on Imperial, and I think that kind of leads into how they felt about the last one. They just didn't hit their shots, and boy, do they now! No Way, Vinny have 2 apiece. coldzera answers back with a pair, but Dust2 will shut him down, leaving just Nython on a P250 raid boss setup to try and 1v3 this the bomb in the possession of Imperial, and Nython spotted. Single dry fight from Dust2, and he'll win that duel. 1-0 Imperial right off the rip.
That's how you want to see Imperial coming out the gates. You want to see them boisterous, confident, and taking the fight to their opponents. They surprise the red Canids out the gates, and that starts things off well on this first map. Something we neglected to mention, Boggs, the last time they met up that best of 3 in the upper bracket, it started off with Anubis and Nuke. I think in a reverse order, I'm not 100% sure. So effectively, if this goes the way that those 2 maps went before, this could be a best of 3 where red Canids just sweep 2 maps and end it 3-0. However, this looks like a different and reinvigorated Imperial. They're hitting their shots, they're not whiffing, and that is exactly what you want to see if you're an Imperial fan coming into this grand final.
That is exactly what you want to see if you're an Imperial fan. If you're a Red Canids fan, though, it might be a scary prospect given the individual heights and the experience on land that this Imperial squad has throughout their tenure across multiple different rosters. Henny, just a bit too late on the hut pick. Will still be here. Looking towards that roof still. Players outside. No real contact from Red Canids. They're looking for a push, and Henny senses this. He's waiting for some long-range information from Phelps, who moves down into lockers. Shadow shows. Henny now knows there's somebody up on top of Minnie for sure. He's just waiting. He's got the MP9. There's no armor. He doesn't know that fact, but he can farm. That's a good opening kill from coldzera, however, and that could open up a little bit more space for Red Canids to take advantage of. It's just pistols, but if they can find a bomb plant out of this round, that would be a nice boost to their economy.
They're playing around their veteran, Red Canids. They have coldzera on the deagle. He had some extra cash. He's got that pair of kills on the pistol. And so that player up top, Minnie, was jumping in hopes that Henny would overextend to go for the pick out of greed. Unfortunately for the Red Canids, he does not. They did get an opening kill with the deagle at range. But from there, it's been more or less a collapse as Henny just spams the smoke for his third. No Way. Gets 2 from heaven. 1 outside, 1 inside towards Minnie. And that's a rather clean one for Imperial. Only 1 player falls. Keeping 4 up and converting the pistol round as you would expect, but this is where rifles should come through. Red Canids saved wholly for this round, barring that 1 invested deagle. So this is where the first real trial for Imperial begins. Red Canids, AKs across the board. Pretty good utility in spite of not getting a bomb plant. Imperial, though, dispensing with the gloves. Not really a bonus round. Instead, they have an op for Henny in round number 3.
Does not have too much utility. Phelps has none, but the op in the hands of Henny will be a tough piece to unseat for Imperial. Phelps in deep garage is kind of alone, does not really have much support because Vinny's MP7 will be hard-pressed to outduel an AK at mid to long range. The MP7 is still a weird one to pick up. You don't see that almost ever. That or the MP5. The MP5 maybe a little more often given its silenced nature and no tracers, but overall it's a very bizarre one to see here in round 3. And Red Canids with full control of the secret tunnels, moving down. Davideus working around the outside. Venom Zeta might get spotted here. Vinny gets the jump bot, drops a Molotov. Dust2's already down vents, and he's pulling for 2! He's going to continue to scale forward as well. Has 32 HP, now grabs the A1S, or the AK rather, and drops down. It's Phelps, the A1S, to silence David. And Vinny down on the stairs, playing cat and mouse with Dust2 to support, isolating the duels against Nython, but Nython and coldzera are able to open up the B site. Bomb plant available? No, there's no way. And his nade also hurts Nython more. Nython tries to get a better angle, but he's been caught in transition and shut down by No Way. The bonus works out for Imperial. They grab 2 AKs off of the back of it. They keep the op in hand. And no bomb plant for Red Canids means it should be a 4th in short succession for the CT side.
4th should come very quickly. Maybe some upgraded pistols because of that loss bonus. Yep. Some Tech 9s can be deadly, and in fact, Tech 9s combined with Reckless Abandon could net an opening round for Red Canids if they go aggressive, say, in towards A, and Imperial neglect that possibility. So they will go for it, at least some players will. Racing through his Venom Zera, but he has no support. Everybody else was stymied by the Molotovs. Eventually, one player will get down the vents. That's some Chaos Zone, but it's only a Glock. Does he have the bomb? Does Nython have the bomb on his back? I believe he does as he races down. Does he get the bomb plant? It would be a big boon. No, it's David instead who has the bomb. Excuse me. Right above him. Will cross in, but No Way's already ahead of it. And Nython, with the Glock, can do nothing. Hard's out. Very far away on this Lurk top mini. Shadow's not spotted by Phelps, but Hard's out's going to be hard-pressed to find even 1 kill in round number 4. Dropping down. Up close, the Tech 9 thrives, but there's still another player on this A site ready to take him down. Hard's out. Caught. It's another relatively clean one for Imperial, and again, no bomb plants for Red Canids at all thus far in the first half.
That's a pretty poor start for Red Canids here. Not even a bomb plant to try and give you a little bit of hope. It's just been shutdown after shutdown by Red Canids. Guns are not. Or by Imperial on Red Canids, rather. Guns are not. Red Canids have not been able to get anything going. They do have the op for Nython now. We can see that challenge Henny potentially. I would like to see an Oppers duel between these two, and I'd like to see it more abundantly. But given our maps, we probably won't be able to see that until Dust2 if we do get that far, which, given Imperial's start here, maybe we will be seeing Dust2 pretty quick, but we'll find out. Maybe we're not live. I don't think we're live. We're definitely not live here.
Nope, looks like a tech problem. I was going to say, Henny, his op is very momentum-based, so if we can see him find his footing early on Anubis, I definitely see an Oppers duel being taken somewhere. It's not going to be a traditional early round Oppers duel like you might hope. I'm expecting an Oppers duel nonetheless between the two at some point in these first pair of maps. Again, technical issue. Not sure how long it's going to take, but you can tell this match is pretty clearly being match medicked and restarted for this round. And so, it's been Imperial coming out the gate swinging early on in this opening map of Nuke. They've looked confident, which I think is the biggest factor working for them thus far, and they've done very well at keeping the stars of Red Canids quiet. Sure, Cold Zera's putting up some serviceable numbers. I believe he's at 4 kills right now, 1 per round. However, David Theos has yet to really open the docket in his favor. I think one of his teammates as well is really struggling and yet to get a kill. So, Red Canids off to a slow start in this best of 5.
Well, the other thing is, too, most of Cold Zera's kills have come in either 1-2-man disadvantage situations or just trying to stay alive or maybe even gain a little bit of space for some pressure, maybe a bomb plant. But it's not in a situation where there's really anything positive going. It's more trying to salvage a situation rather than actually create something. So we haven't really been able to see Red Canids even play from a level footing for the most part because Imperial are getting the opening picks within the first 5-10 seconds of contact, and they're not losing these duels. They're winning their duels. They're having multi-kills. There's usually a second or third player even around the corner as well supporting. Look about that Tech 9 rush towards A. There was a blind player crossing second vent, support from Heaven that saved the life, and Phelps was coming through, Mini as well. There was a lot of counter utility thrown by the CT side, and overall Imperial are playing some textbook Counter-Strike, and the aim is following it up.
The aim is that biggest factor too. We haven't seen any surprise opening kills. I think the only round that Red Canids, actually found that opening was that second round with Cold Zera up top red, where he was just grasping at what he could with that deagle. And of course, from there, the stopping power just isn't in their favor regardless, and they still lose the round. So I'd like to see the Red Canids slow things down, try to find a pick, try to find an opening, something to give them an advantage, and then go for a play from there. Because right now, it's not looking too inspired. It's looking kind of disheveled, and Imperial are readily exploiting that.
The other thing, too, though, how hard is it going to be for Red Canids to find an opening onto Imperial, who are playing a really disciplined style of CT's side nuke? They're not really forcing the outside aggression. I think the only real thing they had was that Cold Zera Deagle pick. That was a later rotation in from Phelps off the information gain from Henny and Mini. So it's not like Imperial are even forcing fights for the most part. They're playing a much more conservative defense, but because of the way they have their defense situated, by the time Red Canids actually move into a site, there's too much cover, and they're not able to really get into any sort of positive engagement. They're playing from down a man for the most part. So finding that pick is going to be a tall task, but maybe that op of Nithon can change it here.
Yeah, that op is probably the biggest thing I'm keeping my eye on as of now for round number 5. An op challenge the likes of Henny. I don't think Henny's op has found any impact either, but it hasn't been called upon. Vinny does have that AUG to use at range as well. Gives you a good standoff distance, perhaps from heaven out towards the yard. Where's this op playing? Boosted up outside yard. Smoke towards the garage that prevents Henny from peeking. He's going to nade it open, though. Here's the opper's duel, and it's won cleanly. Good flash from Vinny to support. An opening again secured for Imperial. Cold Zera once more trying to be the spear point to get a rebuttal. Something in response. Venom Zera instead does. Cold and Venom Zera combined for 3. In fact, finally dismantling that outside yard aggression. Vinny on that AUG is playing unbreakable. He gets the first. Cold Zera gone, but still a man disadvantage for Imperial. So at this point, they just try to probe around and look for some off angles with which to strike back.
Now, I haven't been able to mention this yet, but this lull in the action plus Vinny's refrag will give me an opportunity to. I've seen Vinny put up 40 kills on Nuke and MR15. I've seen Vinny have multiple very good performances on Nuke, and that includes grand final performances back in season 31, it was, at Global Challenge, with Gary in the lineup. Vinny had an amazing Nuke that propelled them forward to victory. It's not uncalled for him to be good in the big moments on this map, and he will catch Davideus coming around through lobby. Hard Zhao now waiting for a pressure, but this is a 2v2 with Venom Zeta on 4 HP. Vinny's going to aggress into the crosser, but timing's going to work for him! He sprays away, expecting the player still there, but he catches Venom Zeta. No Way in Hut has time on his side. Hard Zhao fakes it. He's removed by No Way, and Vinny and company strike back despite the man disadvantage. A 2v4 with both alive and victory. Still no bomb plant for the Red Canids, and a timeout forced out of them already. They picked this map as well to try and punish Imperial with Anubis as map number 2. But Red Canids have found absolutely no traction at all.
That was their closest round yet, and still it manages to fall by the wayside. They had that advantage. Sure, they lost the opening duel, which is what I was kind of harping on. The Opper's duel was won by Henny out in the garage, but there's these 3 kills right here. Venom Zera and Cold Zera combining for 3 that go unanswered. It's all on Vinny, who really makes the hero play. The solid read, pushing through ramp, going towards the lobby, knowing that it's likely going to be an A split because of the lack of contact, and he finds a massive pair there. Actually, he only finds 1 technically on that player towards door, but regardless, it is a big heads-up play to go for, and one that takes a lot of confidence, walking so slowly. Red Canids gonna go for pistols, a Scout and a Galil. It's a half buy. Scout is actually winning the sniper duel in the yard, tagging Henny quite low to 30. Still no casualties as of yet, and attacking side only have a pair of smokes left in terms of utility.
They don't even have those smokes now. They've been used. No picks confirmed. Not even that tag. Senti doesn't even need to take that first contact. Nithon is debrained by Phelps. Now Descenti will peek around that smoke, and Venom Zeta falls. The bomb makes its way towards ramp, and he takes a... Wow, he actually hits that shot through the wall. 2 pot shots through the wall. Works for 1 damage tag. And he just didn't want to engage. He's low on health. He knows it. It's a really smart play from him. Phelps is already down at double doors. Moving over towards control. Now spots the head, but he is dinged hard. Zhao forces the issue. So Phelps hits the dirt. Descenti, no way. Does he expect the player on the stairs? There's no way he does! And coldzera's on for a 1v4 to a 1v3. Not a very high percentage 1 versus 3. And Descenti will shut him down again. Descenti in no way. 9 and 10 kills respectively. Really propelling this Imperial CT side forward. But the trend about bomb plants or lack thereof has continued, Nate. 0 for 6 on T-side Nuke.
0 for 6. They will at least have a buy now. That was a half buy. AK's an utility, but they haven't shown us enough. Sure, they got some kills. They got those 3 in the round before last. But again, still not able to get across the line. Still not even able to get that plant. Attacking side again. Spreads out. Using lots of utility out in the yard. Try and find something. It was a 2-man setup with Phelps and Henny. Henny's still alive, but Phelps has been dismantled. The op now trying to get towards Secret is expected. Venomzera finds 2, spamming the smoke is finally put to bed. But an advantage for the attacking side that they cannot afford to squander now. Walking in towards lobby. They catch Descenti getting desperate in towards Trophy. Taking him down further, cementing their advantage. 4 versus 2. And A side appears to be the name of the game. Still 1 player here in Vinny, and no way, no chance you're going to go for that flank at that point. They're waiting for that exact kind of play. That's what got them 2 rounds ago. Vinny, Mastermind, last alive on A. Flank, this should be it. Should be a round done to rights. There's the shot from coldzera. And Red Canids, at long last, find a round.
Oh.
And David, at the end of the round, for good measure, disconnects from the server. So probably a tech pause coming through.
Oh, yeah. For a second there, I thought he died to fall damage or something. Then I'm like, wait, there's no way he does. He just DC'd. So we might be coming back to cams here in a minute because we got a technical issue. Wait for David Deus to get back in the server. And since he had money, there will need to be a match medic of some sort, I would assume. We'll find out, though. As there's the first round on the board for the Red Canids, and they needed that fast. Winning some early duels helps them out. Catching the flank, absolutely perfect. And yeah, we're going to come back to the cams here, so. Nate, here we are. It's not been pretty for the Red Canids, but they at least have something going for them after that last round.
They found out what they can do. If they can get an opening, if they can find a nice, ideally 2-person opening like they had before, 4 versus 3, that's when Imperial have to get the ball rolling and have to kind of force some fights. And that's when they can just rest on their laurels, Red Canids. That's exactly what they went for. They waited in lobby, waited for the aggression. They're finally figuring out some of the tendencies of Imperial. Yet in the same vein, that is a tendency that's very easy to recognize and to correct. So Red Canids, this works for the first time around. My question is, will it work the second time around? And again, a lot of it hinges on finding that opening and forcing the defense to go aggressive.
Yeah, they have to force those openings, and how many are they going to be given? How many are they going to be able to win consistently? Because that's the other thing too. How many times have Red Canids been able to win those opening duels clean? How many times have they been able to win the overall duels consistently in a round? That was the first time we've really seen the Red Canids team take over a round by sheer firepower. And maybe a little overzealousness, a little sloppiness from Imperial being up 6-0. They haven't really faced any resistance at all. You're thinking, you know what? We got this. Get a little lax. Sit back in the chair a little bit more. If they sit back up again, this might completely change the whole thing. And the other thing is, too, 6 rounds already on the CT side. Plenty of money. Plenty of opportunity. 7, 8, 9 round chance on the CT side to open things up for Imperial is huge. Pistol round could completely change things, too. If they get an 8-9 round half out of that, then the pistol round, second round, puts Red Canids in a pretty bad spot. So for Imperial, just take it 1 round at a time, 1 step at a time, and keep on plugging along.
Yeah, Red Canids as well. They have a very, very solid 60.7% CT win percentage on this map. That's a lot of rounds that they should be expected to win when they enter that second side. So the pressure's on Imperial to get as many rounds as possible in this first half. They are doing so successfully. And while we do finally see a round in the favor of Imperial, I believe 4 players survive as well, if I'm not mistaken, with that flank from coldzera.
Mm-hmm.
The second round is probably just as important. They have to stabilize that T economy and hopefully begin to build it if they want to come back into this first half. If they stumble here and in the round following, especially without a bomb plant, that's an important note to make as well, then their economy could be sent back down to very slim pickings.
Yeah, because they didn't even get a bomb plant out of the last round either. So they're still 0 for 7 on bomb plants. And the other thing is, too, since David did disconnect during the middle of a round, or at least they weren't at freeze time, there is a chance that he will count as a casualty. So I'm not sure how they want to figure that out, what the rules say specifically on that. That is well above my understanding of the minutiae that would be required for that kind of a ruling. But if that does come down to it and David does count as a death, that's all that gear done. All that money invested that has to go right back in. Still going to leave Red Canids a little more vulnerable to a buy, to a loss from Imperial, who should have 2 buys, 2 solid buys in their economy left over. So right now, still the momentum sits with Imperial. I need probably 2 more rounds out of Red Canids like that last one in a row before things start to turn into their favor. But it looks like this one's going to be a bit longer of a break, folks, so we're going to cut to the break, and when we come back, we should have the action. Never hold up. Maybe we will be back in here. We'll see. Hopefully we're back in. Just bear with us a little bit longer. So we're trying to make sure we get all the action in here and don't have the limbo. Let's go! We're back in game. Here we are.
We're in. Wondering if that, as you mentioned, that David A.S. disconnect would have some extra issues. Not 100% sure. It looks like he's still quite low on cash, but actually he has 1,400, so he might have been given his weapon back. Imperial as well. Their economy's been kept slimmer than I thought it was. They have a lot of gaps in the investment. Sure, full M4, sure kits, sure okay utility. But there's next to nothing left in the bank for anyone barring Vinny. That is not great for Imperial. That means this round is a rather big one. If they lose this one, it should be 6-2, 6-3, likely off the back of it. And that would give the attacking side of Red Canids ample opportunity to build that T-side bank. Henny, though, migratory with his op, down in secret this time around, passes the first test. Venom Zera dispatched. Red Canids now shifting gears out of lobby. Say out of lobby, they all 3 went, but back in they go, maybe? Looks like maybe a lineup of utility from the top of lobby for an A-site pop.
They still look ready to go A, but they're starting to run a little bit lower on time, although Nithon has the utility in hand ready to throw that. If they make their contact under the 30-second mark, things could get a little bit tough here. Descenti's also made his way up the vents. I believe he might have made some noise. That'll really make some noise there. Nade goes in. Nobody pushing through Squeaky. Smoke down. Descenti in the fire. Backs off on Tetris. Vinny needs 2. 1. No! Both of them fall instantly, and that's opening up the round here for Red Canids.
Despite of losing the opening, they still find themselves with the advantage. Davidus and Cold Zera are both tagged, however, so this is still recoverable for Imperial. But doesn't look like they want to try at salvaging this one. All 3 falling away. Henny going towards control. Probably going to eventually exit towards the ramp. Phelps going T-spawn. And No Way in CT. It's been No Way and Descenti specifically who have been thriving thus far in the opener. Both at 10 kills. Exit towards T-spawn is coming through. Phelps is here, ready to do some damage at the very least. 1 kill secured. Now he's headed for the hills. Do they try to hunt him down? Looks like, ooh, 2 go down to the bomb as well. And Hardzau's lit. Phelps could get this last kill. No, he's not going to force the issue. Hardzau similarly just going to hide in the corner. He was low on HP. So 3 rifles surviving means that Imperial can go for a reinvestment. Drop some weapons around. Do some funny bookkeeping. And the T side as well, going to be kept honest by the fact that 4/5 of the squad died in the round prior.
That's just the nature of the beast of Nuke. The bomb radius is incredible. And so we go back to it. The save from Imperial, keeping the op in the hand of Henny. And he did have the opening kill in that last round, but a failure to find anything for both Descenti and Vinny on that A-side hold. Really what spiraled that round out of control. Those 2 kills came through, and it was call it quits for the rest of the Imperial squad. Red Canids still working outside, looking for some information for that opening pick. Henny's op. Outside towards garage again. Smoke wall down for the secret cross if Red Canids want to go for it. And I thought we'll actually pick Henny off early. That is a good start as the Hoppers duel this time goes the way of the attackers. Phelps sprays too early and he gets caught by David pushing on through. 2 picks again for Red Canids here. Imperial are starting to stumble. They got 6 in a row off the rip. And now nothing has gone back in their favor here. Vinny, he's got too many angles to watch. And I like how Red Canids have just stopped. They're waiting to see what Imperial do. Imperial are the team in the hot seat. The fire is licking their heels. They'll have to make a move here. It's all about catching timing, free kills. Coldzera might get the gift onto Vinny as well as Molotov. He thinks better of it. This is all the mind games. Now tosses it high, but the utility's here for Red Canids. They elect not to go in, and Molotov tossed back Silo, maybe? Vinny's the only one here.
Yeah, nothing he can do. Too many players to worry about. All 5, in fact. 2 from Heaven. 2 towards Hut and 1 mini. Bomb hits the ground. No way in Descenti should both be saving these weapons for the following, although saving a FAMAS is definitely less than ideal. Red Canids hitting their groove, hitting their shots. They finally expect Imperial to go on the aggressiveness for the openers, and Venom Zera further hampers Imperial's odds, taking down a 4th in Descenti. No way the last surviving towards ramp. I'm trying to hang on for dear life, but it feels like the Red Canids are slowly slinking around him. Oh, they'll head back towards Secret instead. Terrorists win. Everyone survives. Coldzera, albeit on only 4, but surviving nonetheless. 3 in a row for Red Canids, and things are looking a little bit dicey now for Imperial. They are finally broken economically. That rifle's going to be dropped over. Or actually, it looks like it stays with no way. MP9 for Descenti. Looks like everyone else is going to go for the save. Vinny on a flash and a P250. Okay, some P250s being brought up. Maybe a lobby crunch or something similar coming through. Something aggressive to try and catch out Red Canids. But it should be a 4th on the board and a 4th in a row for the attacking side.
Unless somehow, some way, there's a miraculous round, as you said, out of nowhere to Descenti, but it should be that 4th for Red Canids, and from there, 5 rounds, solid T half, possibility for 6. I'm liking the look here from Red Canids, the way that they've responded after the timeouts they've taken. They've taken tactical timeouts as well as having to wait for issues to be resolved as well. Phelps gets double naded and he goes down. Henny is able to get 1 on the USP, but that's all he'll find. Now more takes being faced, and Vinny actually 1 more kill. That's not too shabby. Descenti 1v3. More likely if he takes down Hards out here, but nothing doing as Nithon's on the angle. 4 now here for Red Canids. Not too many stumbling blocks in their way. And if Imperial drop this round, a 6-6 half is incredibly likely, which would be a huge return to form for Red Canids. And it is their map pick after all, so we'll put them now at 2-0 in this best of 5 series. In case you're wondering why it says 1-0 on the Vertigo map, that is the default map. As Red Canids came in through the upper bracket, they get themselves the 1 map advantage. That is what that is for. So this is the first actual map of play, but it is 1-0 Red Canids as far as series score is concerned.
1-0, and again to recount the last time these 2 teams played on this map, it was only a couple days ago in that upper final. It was a 13-9 in favor of Red Canids, and I'd say they're well on pace for that now as well. They can get a 6-6 half, even if they lose the pistol in the second round. At 60% win rate on that CT side might just bring that trend back to another 13-9. So Imperial definitely feeling the heat head upwards as the rounds slip between their fingers. We have another technical issue, it appears. It's been plaguing the stream all day, it appears. We do have an op for Henny to challenge Nithon once more. We have 1 kit on Phelps, which is very good to see. And not so good to see is the fact that Phelps, one of the top performers for his team, in fact, the top performer for his team, is really struggling individually thus far. in the first half, only at 3 kills, bottom of the scoreboard. That is not where you want your consistent star to be, especially not in a grand final.
That is the best thing you mentioned right there. Consistent star, grand final, that player needs to be towards the top. He is not. Now, No Way and Decenti are not shying away from the bright lights. Henny's had good moments, same with Vinny. Vinny and No Way had that 2 versus 4 that Vinny basically single-handedly pulled back into their favor. That's where half of his kills come from, as we await the reinstitution of this match. But right now, aside from just the overall explosiveness from the first couple of gun rounds from Imperial, Red Canids have played a better game.
Now keep in mind, this is a CT-sided map. The fact that Red Canids are able to bring it back like this in such a form definitely speaks to their level of prowess, pedigree.
And look who's top of the scoreboard for them.
It's Coldzera, the grizzled veteran. And for the most part, everybody else is kind of doing their part too. Nithon's won a couple op duels. Venom Zera had that nice double entry on the first round they won. David Theus has had some kills here and there. He is that, again, that explosive star potential there.
He's starting to heat up, though. He had a very slow start. But he's becoming a little more alive as the rounds wear on here on Nuke. Also, if Nithon's doing this well in the op on T side, when he gets over to the defense, he should have a lot more impact. Because he's not having a bad game by any means. I think he's won 2 out of the 3 duels against Henny, which is not a bad thing at all. The only duel Henny actually won was that nade smoke out garage, which Vinny flashed Nithon off for. So, it's been a good performance from Nithon. He's had good holds, he's had good reads, he's been good with the utility.
See how he stacks up on that CT side. As you mentioned, he isn't as aggressive as Henny, so Henny's opping style is going to be more at home on the T side. But if Nithon can get ahead of him and set up with ample time, then he should have that edge.
And Nithon can still play a little aggressive, too, if he needs to. He's not going to shy away from that. It's just not his preferred style of play. Looks like we're back in action, though, again here, as the timer is ticking down and no pauses here. Yes, live round 11, the penultimate of the half number 1. Map number 1 of this best of 5, the finals for the South American version of ESL Challenger League season. He will not stick around for a long-range duel.
And he's swapping things up. He knows that mini drop is a very important part of the game plan in the yard for Red Canids, so he's going to play holding for a drop and also holding for the cross towards red. Phelps instead will take up the mantle of secret. And Molotov, I think it was missed. But it's marked. Phelps now forced forward. Doesn't stick around for too long, but takes a lot of damage from the flames as a result. Hit left in the round. No kills as of yet. Just utility exchange. There's one. Henny catches Cold. It must have been as the smokes expired in the yard. That's a big one to find. Coldzera's been the heavy hitter for Red Canids, and now he's taken down with no trade opportunity.
Still, the lack of utility on the Imperial side with 40 seconds to go is going to be something to keep an eye on when the take comes through eventually. Yes, they have the man advantage. But when it comes to an actual prolonged fight, never mind! Now that Henny has struck a 3rd time onto David! Nithon falling as well! Imperial in full command. The explosiveness of Henny coming through to bring his team back to life. Was thinking maybe they couldn't wake up. But Henny is there to save them. Hardsau and Venom Zeta tasked with the save.
It won't be hunted.
They will, but
they'll be pressured to stay where they are, but they aren't going to be forced into duels. Imperial wanted to keep all 5 rifles up. Yeah, there's no reason to. Well, I guess the economy wasn't great, but David Deas, Hardsau, and Nithon would have been able to bail them out regardless.
Yeah.
Second tactical timeout used by Red Canids. And Imperial more importantly, keeping all 5 rifles up means that they can buy utility and ensure this final round of the first half is the best they can put forward.
Timeout over. Buy is as best they can make it. Op for Nithon again. AKs for Cold Zeta. But that's a good wake-up round for Henny. Confidence boost for the entire team. And kits across the board on all 5 for Imperial. That's, if it comes down to a post plant, something very convenient. A little bit of ramp control from No Way here as Red Canids again with some pressure outside, looking for an early pick. That's what their success has been predicated upon, those early openings. Henny, though, has a gap in the smoke to work around. Flash, he'll not fall from. Spots one around the smoke, spots the cross through, but his shot's a bit too late. Phelps comes in a bit too tardy as well, and so the bomb makes its way down the tunnels and in towards B. Descenti and Phelps to try and rebuke this attack. Descenti first contact, Phelps in the vents. Flashbang goes far, Molotov as well towards double doors. They need to win these fights. Phelps with blindside, Descenti there to help out as well, but David and Venom Zeta trade it back to a 3v3. But now it's a spread out T side as the 3 players trying to prong in towards B are stymied. The rest, the lurking 2, isolated from the bomb, which can be a big problem here. Trying to get these players so far apart to rejoin one another. Nithon might get timing. He's got pistol out in hand. He's been spotted by Vinny, but Vinny does not want to take this long-term fight. Instead, keep an eye on the site itself. Awkward angle for him again.
Awkward fight, but at least he's above. He's not stuck with a fight above, ahead, and behind. And that one is isolated well. Nithon taken down, advantage reasserted, 15 seconds left, and Henny, a proactive flank, finds one, not quite the second. Venom Zera nowhere to go. 8-4 for Imperial as they finally begin to reassert themselves on the CT side. It was a very solid start for them, a stumble at about the midway point, but they do recover and at least put up a respectable 8-4 scoreline.
Well, 8-4 at the half. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Red Canids struggling at the outset of the first half. Come back a little bit, but still, it's Imperial to retain the lead. It's Pineapple Phillips and Boggs to bring you the action. And Imperial now on the more difficult side of their opponent's map pick. It is Nuke. It is the T side for them as they buy 2 sets of utility to start off this round.
I like the smokes, the Molotov and flashbangs there as well for Imperial, but they will have to deal with the dual Beretta pair on Hardzao and David. Flashbang for Nithon too. Still in possession. Slow and steady round for Imperial right now, but Coldzera spots at the player top silo. Henny, or rather Phelps, has to be careful. Vinny's back on top of the outside. Lobby, Hardzao mollied. He's on the door and he has to drop down. It takes a lot of health on that engagement with the fire. David tagged, but not quite put down just yet as Nithon's able to dome no way. Coldzera falls, but the health might be dwindling for Red Canids. That actually starts to spiral things out of control. B side now vulnerable, but Imperial want to still try to pressure the A side as well. They haven't really made up their minds where they want to go, and this could actually end up costing them being too much of a big brain play. It's overthinking the situation, but Phelps helps stabilize that with a kill onto Nithon.
Furthers it now, 4 versus 2. Venom Zera towards Tetris can do nothing. The Glock's up close, combined with the far superior numbers. David Deas on the dualies, 2 HP, yet no fear racing forward. He finds one, there's only 2 here on the site. Can he find one? No. Descenti swings out, gets the kill. Imperial take the pistol and now extend their lead to 5 rounds, 9-4. And again, Imperial needs to take whatever they can get on this T side because Red Canids have that 60% win rate on the defense. But as you mentioned, Boggs, the last time these two teams met, Red Canids took 8 rounds on the T side. At this time, they sit with only half.
And they lose that pistol, too. And most likely the second round. It's just USPs and a P250 for Coldzera. So it shouldn't be a round where Red Canids have much of a prayer of winning this. Angled smokes out. Coldzera goes through. He's been spotted and removed by Vinny. His presence no longer a threat in the outer yard. The P250 on the ground may be salvaged by one of the Imperial players as an extra trophy. But it's a very slow and disciplined round again from Imperial, not wanting to throw away the advantage they have painstakingly earned through the first half of action. Hardzao caught by Phelps as well. Just 3 left standing, 1 outside garage. Phelps has another one outside, creeping through. Nithon tucks in deep. Might be hoping he can find the drop on Phelps, which he actually does get the dink and the follow-up kill. They know where he is, though, and while he does skirt across towards credit cards, should not be too much more damage the USB can find. Dink! And Venom Zeta on the door. He's been spotted. He's removed. 10 rounds in double digits for Imperial.
Phelps and Vinny also waking up individually. We saw Henny take over the later stages of that first half. Everybody on Imperial tightening up in terms of kills. Very scary prospect for Red Canids in what is now the later stages of this first map. And it's a very scary prospect when a player like Phelps is getting online. He's now at 9 kills. Still has that AK in hand. There's an MP9 for Red Canids on this first rifle round. Less than ideal. And again, so are the Galils for Imperial.
That's very ideal for Imperial, though. The smoke spam yields the opening kill onto David. Nithon's at Glaive with a little bit of support from Cold and Mini, but Nithon now still out towards Red Box, has to try to isolate these fights. Phelps jiggles it around the corner, still loses the draw. 4v4, no trade back, but Descenti scaled all the way down the B ramp, in towards double doors. There is one here to defend. That's Hardzao on the MP9. But he doesn't know the extent of Descenti's positioning, how much of the site he has cleared out. Imperial have so much map control and information towards B. No way's been holding the hell ramp. B side's open.
Side is open. Hardzao's kind of just spotting with the MP9. Lack of firepower means that he's going to get a kill if someone tries to jump in, but beyond that, he shouldn't have anything really going in his favor. Smoke will broadcast the play, and so the door will be open just to show presence while the rotations come through. Hopefully delay by sowing chaos. Bomb will still go down. Henny planting in front of the doors. Vinny to support is the one to win the duel versus Nithon. 4 versus 3. coldzera now, it's his turn towards Decon. He won't miss. Descenti up top, scaffolding's caught. Henny on the Galil, belabored spray, but still wins the duel versus Hard Zhao. And all 3 players of Imperial are playing around one another. coldzera spotted, tagged down to 7. This round should be almost done. I said that, but actually coldzera did find one. Swing through now, both players here. Venomzera rather, a huge one to find. Vinny above now in the clutch. 1 kill secured, not the second. coldzera gets the kill. And while he does get 3 in the round and ensure that everybody goes down, he does not have a kit and therefore has to forfeit it. He will not survive here either. Imperial secure an 11th off the back of time.
Well, it was good holding from Imperial. They played together. Red Canids fought hard, coldzera in particular, but that kill by Vinny really puts coldzera in an awkward spot. Buys the extra time, and then the little rotation up the catwalk helps out, killing more clock. Imperial, not the cleanest of rounds, but a round nonetheless they claim, and the Red Canids now stuck on a very awkward buy with a Mag 7, an MP9, a pair of 5.7s, and a FAMAS, which is technically on paper their best weapon. I would say the MP9 is in reality, but that's not a good situation to be in when you're waffling back and forth between, is our MP9 the best gun or is the FAMAS the best gun? That is a situation unenviable. The lack of utility just goes to showcase more and more with the destitution of which Red Canids are in. Vinny, Descenti, 2 opening kills, 1 through the smoke. Descenti shut down by the swag. He'll drop down Hard Zhao and into the fire, cross through the flames, and carry on to Squeaky. But Vinny has himself another kill, 13 for him, 14 for Henny and Descenti. No way's gone quiet, but Phelps has stepped up, and he does so again on Hard Zhao. Gustavi Deus, the last alive, out towards stairs. And while he does get 1 consolation kill, it's 12 rounds for Imperial. They sit at map point with 8 tries before it goes to overtime. And I think this is what Vinny meant last night when he said that Imperial just weren't hitting their shots the previous meeting.
Yep, scoreline is very different. In fact, it's flip-flopped. It was relatively close and contentious, 13-9. Hard-fought defeat for Imperial. Now it's quite the opposite. 13-4 is a distinct possibility in this round. Nithon, though, does have his op. coldzera's lacking utility. There's a kit on Venomzera, so they're covering all their bases, but Imperial have still looked the better team in the second half through and through. Phelps, he loves his outside yard control. Kind of just plays around the smokes and pressures from there, often on his lonesome. We did see him get taken down by Nithon a round or 2 prior. There's now the smoke to support. He will begin to run his gauntlet. Clearing out angles 1 by 1. No one's going to challenge the outright cross. He can get through if he hugs the smokes. Does he go for the cross, or does he try to read in towards the garage instead? Secret. Secret's the call. It's wise. Nithon is in garage after all with that op ready. Right decision made. 50 seconds left. Imperial have moved their pieces around the map accordingly. Now they have to spring the play.
Molotov for Hard Zhao to ward off a hut push. Ready, primed. Time, Imperial have to go. They have to make a move, and they're going to commit to the A take. From the looks of it, 3 players through. Squeaky, Venomzera can double up and basically shut down everything Imperial has to offer. Utility raining through. It's a solo peek by Descenti. No way's there for the trade. Nade onto Henny and No Way, but Hard Zhao's next to round. He'll retreat to the safety of the silos. Continue his spray before No Way can trade. 10 seconds down the vents. No Way has the bomb, and Phelps is here. Bomb will get planted, but where? Back silo is the call. 2v3 hold. Nade and a flashbang for Imperial. Only a smoke for Red Canids, and there's a car. Oh, that's a
Where's
big
the
problem,
kit?
Nate.
They
They
dropped
don't
the
have
kit.
They do not have a kit.
They had one on Venom, I believe, and now it's gone. They didn't go for it.
They didn't get it. That's a oversight, a major oversight. They're not thinking about time. They're just thinking about, or they're not thinking in case of that kind of time. They just want to go fast to get the retake done, but they've already burned most of their time available. Noe's got the first. Phelps swings, but he cannot do it. No way. 82 HP, single door. Nades it and himself. It's planted for him. Flashes through. Contact one. Sprays blind. Praying. His prayers are not answered until the Tech 9 comes out. No way! Out of ammo! Knife out! He's won it! An Imperial claim map 1 in a crazy fashion. No way had nothing in that second half until just about the final round. And Imperial have woken up and rung the bell in a big way as they take the opener here between these two teams in the final and level out the series at 1 apiece.
Their belts, but Anubis, another map that both teams are pretty good on, and again, it's a map that they played prior with Red Canids besting Imperial 13-9.
Another 13-9, but we know what that looked like on Nuke. It was a 13-4 in the favor of Imperial as we hop into the action here. Dual Berettas for Hardzao on the CT side, start of Anubis. This map tends to trend a little bit more towards the T side of things. And as for Red Canids, 58.4% on the offense, 50% on the defense. Imperial, very similar, 59.7 on T, 50.2 on CT side. So, both teams weaker on the defense. Imperial being able to start on the offense here. Lack of a kit here for Red Canids may be something to keep an eye on as we look forward to this map. Vinny does have the flash and the smoke, P250 armor for Descenti, and a very slow crawl defaulty pistol round for Imperial, which is a bit of a different look from them than we kind of normally see.
Only one set of utility as well. We saw 2 in the map prior. That P250 Super Soldier for Descenti is what I'm keeping my eyes on. It looks like they're relying on him to find that opening. Hardzao is spotting in towards E-Box. He has a nade prepped as well. So Imperial need to be careful. Bomb is coming over. Looks like a B-split is potentially on the card. Perfectly timed nade. Peaks come in. The dualie's doing damage and receiving a bit. Actually receiving none, excuse me. Flash will come in, dodged by Hardzao, but still no kills to be spoken of for him. In fact, No Way and Phelps are the ones that find the opening. Good flash from Python to buy time, but it's only a paltry amount. Descenti, that P250 Super Soldier, finds a third, furthering the advantage now. David going to try to do his best to come back into it, David This. Finding one, only one. The P250 Super Soldier proves insurmountable for him likewise. The last alive falls the very same. Descenti swinging sight around the obelisk, triples down on the round, and Imperial take the pistol with relative ease.
Yeah, I got my eye on Descenti with that P250. Looks like they're relying on him to do the heavy lifting. Gets 3 kills. Good call there, Nate. Great round from him. It was a nice double entry from the Glocks up close and personal in E-Box, but once it came to the actual sight duels, Descenti took complete control. But Red Canids are going to do something they did not do in the last map. They're going all in here on round number 2. 5 MP9s. Only 1 helm that belongs on the head of David. No utility either. It's straight up gunfights for the Red Canids here. And Imperial have 3 SMGs in their own right. Vinny's MP7 around the corner, shut down by a pair of MP9s around. And the Cold Zera traded out by E-Box by Phelps, and the nade will chase Hardzao down a little bit more. No way! That almost got ugly, but he's able to convert. Wait, did Hardzao take down this? He did! Hardzao got a kill out of that!
He got one. He slipped the gap around the pillar and found the player behind. It was Hardzao, who just can't catch a break. Hard going for him. But the double in response does hopefully bring this across the line for Imperial. 2 remaining, make it 1. Davideus beheaded by the AK. Venom. Zera up long in the cubby. It's known to be a possibility. But do they actually clear it with due diligence? The answer is no. Venom Zera gets 1. There we go. The rifle of No Way cements the round. 4 for him on this one. Imperial convert it. Red Canids now forced into what should be pistols at best.
Yeah, this is going to be a pistol round for Red Canids. They went all in on round number 2. They fail. So they'll have a couple upgraded pistols by those who got kills with the MP9s. 2 Deagles, a P250, a couple flashbangs. That's going to be it for them. A kill or two here, maybe a gun upgrade if they can find it. Scale off a kill or two off of that, maybe something. But overall, not a very high expectation round for Red Canids. For Imperial, however, just run, gun, get kills like that. 3 kills to open it up. Hardzao does at least drop one of the MAC-10s. Molotov flies on his position, forcing him forward into the obelisk. Venom Zeta has come through as well for a pick of his own. That was one of the rifles, too, so that will have to be salvaged here by Henny as he takes down Hardzao around the obelisk. Venom Zeta over towards A. Maybe to get the drop over here on mid? No. Vinny's ready for it. He hears the footsteps. But there was a rifle lost in the chaos for Imperial. And that was an AK as well, which Vinny cannot even recover. So a bit ugly for Imperial as far as that is concerned. A bit more casualties than they would have liked. But their money's still fine. They'll buy back in. Here's the real kicker. Nython's got an op in round 4.
Saving his money. CT side up. Wondering if Henny will pull it out on the T side. It's a little bit more difficult to use on Anubis specifically. They can definitely hold Canals down if it's played right. A lot of early aggression, middle, Descenti mollying forward and racing forth as well, getting ahead of the smoke and catching Davideus as a bonus. Again, a tremendous explosive star potential for him, effectively mitigated thus far in the early goings of map number 2, as he only has 1 kill to his name. Venom Zera choosing a direction to fight. It's towards camera, and while he does a boatload of damage, he cannot get a singular kill. 2-man advantage for Imperial. Again, not letting off the gas when the rifles come through. Not playing scared, playing their own game, and as you can tell, Red Canids is already posturing to save. 2 towards CT spawn, 1 on B. It will at least bring the op into the next round, assuming no exits occur. Descenti, our player to watch. He's eager and ready to hunt.
He's hungry for those kills, Nate. They didn't let him eat lunch or dinner. Not sure what exactly the time is locally. But the only thing he can feast on is frags. No way's not 1 HP, so he's not going to go for anything hunt-wise. Although he's also had a good game, following up on a good performance on Nuke as well. Bomb goes off, the hunt is on, but very half-hearted. Nade, no peeks. Saved off, saved rifles. Not too bad for Red Canids, and they'll call a timeout as they'll buy up around these saved guns. But this is almost a mirror start to what we saw on Nuke. The only thing we haven't had yet is a technical issue, knock on wood. But
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I knocked on wood, my desk is wood, it's fine.
Mine, particle board and wood maybe?
Mine is actually wood, like planks.
I don't know if mine's solid or not, but we'll knock on it and see what happens.
All of you at home, if you have wood desks or wood around you, knock on wood, please.
Yeah, he really did say the worst thing possible.
I did.
We need all the help
I
we can
realized
get.
that after I started saying it, so I'm sorry.
Well, that which shall not be said has not occurred.
Yet.
I always fear. They always come off the back of tac pauses for some reason.
Or right before.
Yeah, it's always around one. Galil for Vinny. 4 AKs. Still that op for Nython, as we mentioned. It was saved. And he's getting aggressive. Out in towards Canals around the smoke. He's going to go. Vinny's holding. Moving off angle towards A, but it's clear carpet. Caught through the wall. Not even killed. Phelps gets tagged. He wants to force the issue as well. Swing comes through. Phelps on low HP. Finds them both through the smoke. The flash from Vinny's so good. Hardzao and Nython gone. 5 versus 3 secured. In this tactical timeout for Red Canids. They do change things up off the back of it, sure. But it yields nothing better than what they've already gotten. 5 versus 3. Make it a 4 versus 3. 1 kill finally going the way to Venom Zera. This is recoverable as well. 2 players are below 40 HP on the side of Imperial. Question is, what direction are we going? It looks like E-Box might be the call. No way. Spearheading the charge. There are 2 players here, Coldzera and Davideus. Coldzera, back obelisk, Davideus on the plat in the cubby. Now reposturing behind the pillar. Push will come through. All 3 in. Davideus and Coldzera combined for 2. Very well done to swing off contact for the veteran. Now a third player is here. Dust2 trying to entry in, gets one good kill, but that is all. Phelps, the hero that started this round off, 2 kills on towards E-Box, is now on his lonesome. No bomb, 20 seconds left, and 32 HP. This might just have to be a save of the AK, or maybe the op if he can slink in towards E-Box. Needs to be very careful because both players are close at hand.
Yeah, there's not enough time to win the round, but he can at least save. That op is going to be a tantalizing prospect right in front of him, and David gets the right read. He'll go back to check it. Takes down Phelps after time, which Phelps does have a lot of money, but still.
I like the idea, honestly. It was aggressive and very risky.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea. If you waited a second longer for that player to actually drop his rifle for the op, it might have worked out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Just too antsy on that decision, and no op for Henny. They could have afforded one as well. They elect not to go for it on the T side of Anubis, which is interesting knowing Nithon has one in his hands. Granted, he was unable to come up with anything positive besides the tag onto Phelps in the last round, but that's still a good gun to have if you want to counter the op, so
I have a question.
maybe a faster, aggressive T side from Imperial here.
Vinny bought a decoy. I don't know if he sold it or if he threw it. I just want to know what was going on there, because it was there on his belt for a while, but this round is kicking off with far more expedition than the rounds prior. Straight up into E-Box for a B split, and it does work pretty dang well. Nithon on the op can't see through the flames to get the kill. Venom Zera all the way up rugs. This is a save immediately into the next round. Means Red Canids' single round will now be isolated between victories of Imperial.
I was thinking maybe, you know, Red Canids, stop the slide early, string a few rounds together, make a solid CT half out of it, gets 5, maybe 6 rounds if they're really strong towards the end of it. But Imperial answer right back with a flurry of kills, the individuals again shining. And it's just that quote from Vinny from the interview from last night. I didn't think we played bad Counter-Strike, we just didn't hit shots. That's all that keeps coming back to my mind.
It's coming back to my mind too, especially because they let the same 2 maps through as the first 2 in this one.
Not like they really get any bans, but
I mean, they got one. They still chose to pick Anubis, or yeah, Anubis.
Yeah, they
banned Ancient, which makes sense, but they still picked it into the first 2. And like I said, with that 1 map default advantage for Red Canids, if things went the same as they did in that last matchup, then it would be a swift 3-0. Imperial confident in their ways, knowing it's a new them coming into the server. Again, really speaks to the confidence. Aggression in towards A main. Now Nithon's here with the op. He does get one in the corner, should not find a second. Henny has an op of his own. Now he's elected to bring it out. He's had a quiet start to the map. He's looking to speed things up, paradoxically, with his op. 4 versus 4. Engagements mixed. 1 for 1. There's no way activates on a bit of a late flank with Dust2. An A split is probably the call. No one's here to spot the cross. Davideus is contemplating looking, but he's busy supporting his teammate. Might offer the gap required for Imperial. Never mind. Venom Zera finds Henny. No way peeking in camera. 1 for 1. Venom Zera traded as well. Back to even footing. 2 versus 2. Smoke down at camera in the nick of time. Even footing. 2 versus 2. coldzera and Hardzao, the 2 B site defenders left to retake. You have a Molotov and a couple flashes as well to facilitate a press through the choke points.
One of those flashes used, lets Hardzao through in towards heaven, debates the window peek, Dust2 holding for the camera run, Molotov to pool, clears out a big angle, but the 2 players are towards site and A main respectively. Good little 1-2 punch from each, Vinny and Dust2. And Imperial 6 on the board, the op saved for Henny. No way and Dust2 both 180 AR plus. Phelps not too far behind. He had a pretty quiet start to Nuke, but he finished that one out pretty solidly. And he's carrying over that momentum into this map. Another timeout. 2 of 3 used now by Red Canids. And that's just the importance they place on this map, on this half. Getting more than 1. Obviously you want more than 1 round, but they feel that if they lose this next round, it all just spirals out of control and they're going to have to do it all on Dust2. which Imperial just dismantled 9Z on Dust2, yeah, last night, 13-5. So I can see why Red Canids might be starting to sweat a little bit here.
Yeah, well, they chose to start on the CT side. It's not their favorite on this map. They have a 50% win rate, though, on the CT side. Par for the course would be 6 rounds, if you can do the math quickly. They are a very far cry from that. Imperial pressing every advantage possible. Again, Henny still has his op in hand. No op to counter this time around for Nython. He's just on an M4. There is one kit for coldzera. And an MP9 for Hardzao. He wants to pressure out A. Some damage, but the flash is so good from Venom Zeta. And David Theus across the map has Henny as well. The op taken down. David Theus, another, and coldzera supporting in a main. A third and a fourth, leaving just Descenti. He's had a tremendous performance thus far in the series, but a 1 versus 5 seems like too much to ask.
He can plant.
Trying to isolate duels early, but he will get that plant down for a bit of extra cash in the round following. This should be a Red Canids round, barring the preposterous.
But there's 3 players damaged. This is a reasonable round for Descenti to be able to pull off. That actually gives him more. He gets the lineup, though, of Hardzao and Venom Zeta. They won't be able to come up with anything more after those 2 duels. So only 2 casualties for Red Canids. If they would have lost 3, 4, that's where the round really gets expensive, where Descenti's damage starts to really take its toll on the opposition. But they keep it at your maximum allotted casualty count of 2. And there's 2 now for Red Canids. Can they string 2 in a row, however? That is now the next step. You're not going to have a good success rate if you're not able to get consistent rounds, if you're not able to get them in succession. Red Canids need to be able to get 2 in a row here. They do have that op back for Nython. The AK's on 2. coldzera's had a very quiet game as well. 2 kills, Nython 1. David, Venom Zeta, and Hardzao doing the lifting right now. Henny aggressive tag onto David. He takes a second peek and is lucky to get out of there alive.
He was spammed down by Descenti. Canals-centric default to start things off for Imperial. Just want to get control. Hold for that aggression. Just off from Descenti. And then slowly gain control of E-Box. From there they can go either direction. Nython in middle alone. Sop. It's going to be hard pressed to find much. Imperial now getting control of A main. Venom Zera playing the platform. Volleyed away. Not held for. He will survive. Minute left in the round. No casualties for either team to be spoken of. Most of the utility for this T side has been used. 2 smokes and a Molotov remain for an execute. Speaking of, it looks like an execute will come in towards this A site. 2 players here, 1 cake, 1 top heaven. And now Nython bolstering through camera. This is going to be a very difficult site to pry open for Imperial.
They don't really have the utility for this. No flashbangs. The smoke makes it even more difficult. The Molotov left is all that they have on the CT side. Now, if they can get the 2 players, maybe there's something, but Venom Zeta's in a good spot to try and stymie this push. We'll have some help from David Theus. Venom Zeta over towards Pool now. Has him push on through. 1, 2. Actually, no, it's David with the second. As it's not over yet. The time is very low. David gets a second before he's met by Henny's op. Bomb going down here. Nython's peeking through as well. He takes down his opponent's op. And all up to Vinny. Crossing into the op of Nython. He'll swing across. Takes the nade damage. Cannot connect the headshot onto coldzera. And so, 3 rounds now for the Red Canids. Bomb plant should keep Imperial buying. Their money's starting to dwindle away here. Maybe even a half buy might be on the cards for the T side, and Red Canids might be given an opportunity to grab 4.
Mentioned that it looks like it's going to be an investment. No way in Descenti immediately buying in. Those 2 started off the first half of Nuke strong, and then now they're starting off the first half of Anubis the very same. The issue is Henny isn't really waking up. Phelps is doing okay, but still not that star performance. It is a force buy with 2 pistols, a MAC-10, and 2 AKs. Hefty lean towards A early on. Red Canids, what is their call on this defensive side? It looks like 2 towards E-Box. 1 on B, that's the op of Nython holding the main. One middle and only one A. Venom Zera in the early going. So they can run this player down. That's the A site cracked wide open. But they aren't that aggressive. Here comes the exit. Yeah, you do look scared, but now they run in. They just waited for the utility and the smoke to fade. They line up Davidis and his teammate, no way, mows them both down after losing one. 4 versus 3, site cracked open. Nithon denied at camera. The bomb goes down quickly as well. Do they even attempt this, Red Canids? No, they don't. They're already headed for the hills. Their economy's not in the best of spots. If all 3 players survive, they can drop guns for the round following. But Imperial have given themselves the lead in this first half with a victory in round 10.
It's a good lead, although I think Imperial would like more than just 7 rounds on the T side. They're looking for 8 or 9. It is the stronger side after all, and having to close this out on the defense might not be the easiest task, especially given how fickle CT economy is. But at least for Imperial, they're able to respond to Red Canids' streaks, to their rounds, to good successful rounds from the Red Canids with one of their own. It's not allowing the Red Canids to ever get any real momentum. It doesn't let this team build confidence. And that's part of the mental aspect of the game. Red Canids don't look like a very confident team right now. Imperial, they do. And even when they're still playing a little more reserved, when it comes to their explosions, they're all bought in, everyone goes through, and they find the kills when they need to.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine, Imperial. No fear, playing their parts exemplary fashion. And Red Canids desperate, pressuring middle. They've blinded themselves. Descenti given 1, Descenti given 2 off of a botched aggressive play. Nithon finds 1 as some sort of victory to take away. A Pyrrhic 1 at best, though, as they find themselves on the back foot. Very unfortunate on that flash, giving Descenti both those kills. No and Henny still both towards B main. Henny touched by the flames. They're down to 55. A flash will come through for Hard Zao. Again, it's aggression for Red Canids. Does it pan out this time? No, but Nithon still finds 1. Phelps taken down, back to even footing. The Molotov on Hard Zao. He's stuck in a rock, between a rock and a hard place. Can't find anything. No way. A double of his own now as he entries in towards B. It's a bit of chaos. But as the dust settles, it's just Venom Zera in a 1v3, and he is going to attempt it. M4 in hand. He's at long. No one is going to give away their life for free on the side of Imperial.
1 E-box, 1 main, and no Venom Zera. Good flash high from Henny. Vinny has the read on the swing. And 8 rounds for Imperial into the last round of the first half of Anubis. Op for Nithon was all that got things going for Red Canids in the last round. He has one again. The only 2 kills were found by his boomstick. But Imperial keep finding ways to win. It doesn't matter who the catalyst is. Someone is stepping up. No Way and Descenti have been monstrous for them in this final. Which is great for Imperial. Your 2 least experienced members are the ones really putting in the work in a grand final. But it does lead to some concerns moving down the line for this team. coldzera double up at E-box despite getting flashed. No Way's able to get 1, and he'll double up himself. No Way calls coldzera's bluff. He'll bring advantage back to his side. Missed shot from Henny, though, opens up the retake opportunity for Red Canids. Molotov to ward off Venom Zera and Nithon. Davideus has No Way. They know where Descenti is, but he's been good as well. Not quite up to No Way standards, but he's got the first of 3 required. Does not know the last 2 are out towards E-box. Knows there's 1. Does not know both. Nithon, AK, peeks out. Missed shot from Descenti. A 4th on the half for Red Canids. That should give them about, not a good half, but a salvageable one if they can take the pistol on the second. They are much more T-sided after all, so we'll see if they can bring that forward and try and push for something good in this second half here, Nate. But I think the pistol round will be that imperative run for the Red Canids here.
It'll be imperative, and if I'm not mistaken, they're currently 0 for 3 on pistols.
I think you're right, yeah.
With the 6-0 start on Nuke, we had an end on Nuke that was 0 rounds for the CT side, so obviously it was won by Imperial. Imperial started off this map right as well, so yeah, no pistols thus far for Red Canids. Pressure is on. We are directly into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. No pause necessary. And what do we have as an investment? Dually Super Soldier for Phelps on B. He's playing Pizza. He's supporting E-Box, but mid is the call for Red Canids. Pressuring in. No race forward. No kills, though. Just a lot of spam and a lot of damage onto Descenti.
David, he's got the opener onto Phelps. Those dualies find a 0. Low HP Descenti. Caught off by David. And actually, it's Nithon to put him down instead. Bit of an awkward duel for the lead man, but No Way comes through Canals and has the headshot onto Venom Zeta, still able to defend the B site somewhat. It's Hardzao works in towards main, but he's just going to play for the long-range duel. It's not planted for him, but he still can cut off rotations, keep one angle secure. No Way has revealed his position now with that peek and shoot. Does have help coming through as well. Henny makes no qualms about that. Vinny's moving towards the obelisk as well, though, and his shots are doing just a little bit of chip damage onto Nithon. David, Hardzao, a pair of each. And Cold Zera with the last. Nice, easy mop-up for Red Canids, and a pistol round they had to win. They win it in spades.
A must-win pistol. Finally get one on the board in this series. Again, it's a 13-4 on Nuke. Red Canids, the only reason they have a map under their belt is because they got the default. Now they mount their comeback. Imperial, not really feeling the pressure yet. They're not going to hazard a force. They're going to save instead. P250 for Descenti. Flash for Henny. Dropped over by No Way, might I add, so Henny invested nothing. And full rifles for Red Canids. They want to get the most out of the second, third, and fourth rounds if they can. It's 2 Galils, 3 AKs. Light on utility. Utility won't play too important a factor here. In fact, it can actually lead to some chaotic plays from the pistols and aid them instead. Nithon, Hardzao, 2, 3. A fourth almost secured. There we go. Hardzao getting that one, or Venom Zera getting that one, excuse me. The last alive is Henny. There's a nice little off angle in the smoke, but he can't do anything. Clean and flawless second for Red Canids. And now they only trail by 2 on Ancient. Or on Anubis, excuse me.
Here's the first test for Red Canids now on the T side, though. The buy is here for Imperial. No op for Henny at the very least. Nithon doesn't have one either, but some confidence to be built perhaps by the Red Canids here. They won the last round of the first half, pistol round, and the second. So they're on a 3-round streak, their longest streak of this series so far. They do have that one map advantage by virtue of their upper bracket finish. That has evaporated. It's a tie game. This one has devolved into a best of 3. Hardzao and company, thinking of a mid-push. Descenti's been good. Can he be great? A1S, not exactly the best for a full-on push. They'll try to clear, and he can't even get the first. He gets the dink and nothing further. Hardzao given a gift as Phelps tries to come on through. His shots miss everything. Vinny at least gets 2 on blind. How does he get that? Phelps will answer back as well. And somehow out of all of that, the bomb rests at the feet of Vinny, and Hardzao's 9 HP has found another kill. Venom Zeta, the last alive in a 1v3.
Okay.
He's got one, but
Henny's one-shottable. They're both one-shottable.
They're both one-shot. Yeah, no helmet, or no helmet and 1 dink.
This is doable for the Galil. Just to be precise, surgically so. Together. Yeah, they're separate. Walks into the angle, though, trying to get the bomb. No Way knows exactly what's going on. 9-6. First rifle goes the way of Imperial, but it's hard fought. It's a fraught round. A lot of back and forth. Tactical timeout number 3 used by Red Canids. They know if they press this one specifically, they break that CT economy, and they cement a very big comeback towards even footing. So they're not going to let off the gas. They're going to buy what they can. 4 AKs, probably a Galil for Cold Zera if I had to guess. Maybe he'll get dropped one of the AKs and drop a Galil to a teammate. Oh, he'll stick with his Galil at least for now. Vinny on an MP7 as well is not the best, but it's still doable. No ops present for what will be a very scrappy round number 16, and a round that will decide the momentum going forward for the next couple rounds.
Yeah, this one could either devolve into scrappiness, it can evolve into an Imperial map in short order, or it could turn into Red Canids taking control smoothly, getting that reset as you mentioned, and then scaling forward to tie this one up. That's a wild spray from Dust2. He's taken down very low and put down his Cold Zeta, and Hardzao find simultaneous kills out through middle to entry onto the A site. Only Vinny here with an MP7 of all things. That's the third or fourth time he's purchased this gun. Good choice in skins, it's the same one I have, but it doesn't matter. The gun is not up to snuff when you have AKs and Galils on the other side. The Molotov forces him forward. Phelps catches Venom Zed on the lurk, so maybe Vinny could upgrade from the MP7 onto an AK. But Imperial might just save this here, and I think they are going to. There's no reason to try to attempt a 4v3 retake with all the utility that they have to move into the next round, the full armor and guns. That's a save call from Imperial, and Red Canids can strike right back off the back of the timeout and keep pace with Imperial here within 2 rounds of tying this one up.
Red Canids survive with 4, though. That also helps their T-side economy. Imperial need to reassess their mid presence. That's what I'm getting at here. What I'm learning. We had a player up close in Dust2 who lost the duel the round before last. In this one, they had a second player there, but he only came as support, and he was swiftly ran down alongside Dust2. Either more proactive with their early smoke, perhaps a Molotov, or more hands-off with a player playing towards camera and a player playing towards temple. Or abandon it entirely. Play in towards A main and let them come through if they do.
It's a good moment, but it's not respected by Red Canids. The smoke will probably have to be. That's a lot of utility to use just for a little bit of space for Red Canids. I don't know if that's worth the amount invested into it, and they even take a little bit of damage too from the counter util.
Utility for Imperial, though, it should be worse. So they're banking on the fact that the reactionary utility used by Imperial to reassert control is more than they invested at the very least. Still not a commitment either. Sticking around canals, Nithon has the bomb on his back. Actually looking to go towards E-Box now. Hardzao and David are both posted outside of B main, holding mid and the main itself respectively. 50 seconds left. We have transition now. One player outside A main to throw a bit of a fake. The bulk of the play for Red Canids is over towards B. Phelps throwing the smoke B main. Red Canids have more than enough time to stall that one out. The question is, will they, or will they force the issue instead?
3 players here on B to defend. 4 moving in on the take. Utility flying in. Low time for Red Canids. No way. Takes down the first. He'll swing for more. Has opportunities, but Cold Zeta and David. 1 for David. 2 for Cold Zeta. Bomb down Ob. Henny and Vinny outside, and they might just save again. Red Canids to draw within 1 of Imperial. They don't really have utility, but the money on Imperial is absolutely dastardly. There's nothing there. And Red Canids, they just explode into the site, take advantage of sheer numbers, overpower the defenders. And Cold Zera's really stepping it up as well. David's here, Venom Zeta. Nithon has the least amount of kills, everybody else separated by 4. Almost like what we saw from Imperial in that first map, except now from Imperial, it's No Way, Dust2, and then everybody else.
The individuals aren't waking up to support their crew. It's far more difficult to be a standout star on the CT side when the weaker links can just as readily be exploited elsewhere. You can't be that spearhead like you are on the offensive side. Red Canids nipping at the heels of Imperial now. You mentioned the Warrens more or less emptied for Imperial as they're on a cobbled together, I want to say half buy, but Henny's quite low at 850 in the bank. 2 rifles, 2 MP9s, a deagle, 1 kit, a little bit of utility. A true dream at this point. Red Canids in the driver's seat, the later stages of Anubis.
It's a good time to start to come alive if you're Red Canids. If you can get to double digits first, really build up that economy, and then put Imperial onto that economic situation where they either go for it and save, or save their guns and have to have a half buy. It's really tough to recover from that on the CT side, and there's a reason why both of these two teams struggle on the CT side of this map. Red Canids, though, they got to pick the side choice. They got their 4 rounds on the defense. Now they're just trying to make it work on the offense, but Vinny has a double spray down behind the Molotov, looking for more. He's got a third, runs out of ammunition, finally put down by Hard Zhao. That is the only kill so far for Red Canids against the half buy of, or the force buy really of Imperial. More of a half because they have players at 1,300, 1,100. It's not a great investment from Imperial overall. It's just raw firepower that works for them, and it's Vinny, the in-game leader, who gets it done with those 3 out towards A. Hard's out trying to save an op, and he is hunted already. Phelps is here. He will not be denied his kill. Imperial maintain the lead.
Half by victory as well, which bolsters the economy tremendously. Everybody had around 4K, even to 6K in the bank off of that. And we said someone needed to wake up alongside Descenti and No Way. Vinny, for the veterans, waking up in a big way. That triple kill towards A main cements things for his team. Just keeps them slightly above Red Canids in this second half. East side as well now. It's their turn to potentially be broken economically. Next to nothing left in the bank now, but Nithon does have his op to rival Henny, who got one from the round prior, scavenged off the corpse of the very same. It's a very passive hold middle. I like this off angle from Henny. It could be sidestepped entirely by going towards the double doors.
Descenti's in a good spot to try and take down one, but can he get more, or can he get out of here alive? He domes coldzera as well. The number 1 and number 2 hitters statistically for Red Canids down on the ground at the feet of Descenti. High impact kills as Imperial look to push Red Canids to the brink of elimination in the grand final. Imperial started down a map because Red Canids won the upper bracket final. Imperial took the opening map of this best of 5, Nuke 13-4. It's tied at 1. Imperial to win this one would go up 2-1, 1 map away from taking the series. Red Canids, likewise, if they can win this one. Nithon into the open, takes a lot of damage, but he's able to at least take out No Way en route towards the B side. Molotov will hold them at bay. Hard's out, takes a little bit of contact out B main, but he's smoked off. Utility to allow the Red Canids to get on site, but that's a huge pick on Descenti by Venom Zeta. Has to hit a headshot, and he does. Phelps around the smoke. Will not be flashed or Molotoved off, but he has had contact. Vinny right here behind him with the AUG in hand. Good for the close-range duels. Hard's out up on Plaid, holding for a cross. Now he spots him, but Venom Zeta's right there for the trade. Nithon 4 HP. He's in E-box. He's all alone now as his teammate falls. Nithon timing, but he misses the shot, and Henny's there to save the day. Imperial 11, Red Canids 8.
Broken economy as well for Red Canids. It does not bode well for round number 20. And if they choose to save this round, they're going to be facing off against 4 map points, which would give Imperial that second win and the official advantage in this one. A lot resting on this round. Red Canids in an unenviable spot, as they have to discuss the rock in the hard place, which lies ahead. They go for the hard place. It's going to be pistols to save for round 21. P250, Deagle. I think that 2 P250s. And Phelps feeling it, wants to go aggressive. That might be foolhardy. He does survive. Finding one and Henny supporting to find a second. Phelps. So be careful about Hard Zhao slinking forward towards Pizza. What a shot from him. It's an opening secured rifle knot, though. We'll race forward to get it. Chaos now being sown. It's a double op as well. I didn't even realize Imperial went for it. Vinny and Henny both have snipers. Very unwieldy versus scrappy pistol rounds. This round is doable for the Canids as the bomb slinks in to be.
At least there's the bomb plant for Red Canids. It's not necessarily one they'd expect to win, although Nython might just get a freebie onto... No way! Knife out! Upgraded weapon, and a second! Oh. David has Vinny, and Descenti now 1v2. He's been great for Imperial throughout the playoffs. He's on the bomb. Molotov for the fake. David Deus backs away. Time of the essence. No kit for Descenti. It's over. It doesn't matter. Red Canids have won the Glock round against Imperial. Not only does it keep Imperial off of map point, it absolutely decimates the economy on a couple of players. It kills the momentum. I'm Imperial. I'm calling a timeout here. You have to bounce back from that. You cannot let Red Canids string success off of the back of Glocks, P250s, Deagles. You cannot lose this round.
That is a huge round to lose. The knife, a bit of extra psychological warfare for good measure. No timeout, but they do have a buy. Descenti could drop a rifle. Everybody else was able to cover themselves, including that op for Henny to challenge Nython. But that is a massive potential for a second wind in the sails of Red Canids. I would be fully reinvigorated, hyped up off a victory like that. Keep in mind, going for the save implicitly admits defeat in the round.
It does.
It implicitly says, okay, we need to make our stand in the following. It does not say that we win this round. It doesn't say we give it up either, but...
No.
You know, realistically speaking, Red Canids had no business in that one, and they knew it.
Hello.
Shit. I don't even know where they are. Are they in double doors? They're in double doors. Descenti gets the kill. Yeah, it is in towards middle. He finds a double yet again. This time with no support at all. Hardzao and Davideus taken out. We've seen rounds like this where Imperial have the hefty advantage and yet it still slips through their fingers.
Still winnable for Red Canids, though. We saw what they did last round, although I think the big problem is coldzera is so far away from Venom Zeta and Nython that he's basically inconsequential if they actually come to a side take. It's a man disadvantage if Red Canids enter B right now. And Cold is starting to group up with them, but time is of the essence. The bomb is still committed. E-Box, utility going in. 3v3 on the take. They have to find the kills in fast. No way, Descenti half HP. Phelps here as well. 3 prime rifles ready to lock it down. Molotov into their positions, and 10 seconds on the clock to get the bomb down. Sprays coming through. No kills just yet. Nade for the smoke. More contact. coldzera drops. 5-4. Stick the plant. Nython's got to try. Venom Zeta sprays the wrong direction. Through the smoke, Descenti comes through. After time, Venom Zeta falls, and despite losing to the Glocks, Imperial find themselves at map point. It is not series point. Do not let the HUD deceive you. One more map at minimum if Imperial win this one. But what a double from Descenti. The first kill, a little bit of lady luck shining on Imperial. The second, nothing but skill. And Tech 9's a Deagle and a Mac 10 to stay alive in this map for Red Canids. Does not get more bleak than that.
It does not. They pulled it off with pistols before. Can they do it again? Descenti. Not another double. Just a single. Nython gets the trade and a rifle. Now some chaos can be sown. The issue is Phelps is also down through canals. Flashed. Free kill there on the player jumping through. One for Phelps, but Vinny, ensconced upon, closed in from both directions. coldzera takes him down. We're still at even footing. Still anybody's round. The issue is Phelps has dropped the bomb at his own feet. In no way is racing to support while also cutting players off middle as quickly as possible. Smoke goes down on the bomb. Spam from Phelps and the enemy to try and just do damage. Nython down to 25. There's the bomb dropped at a critical juncture. coldzera taken down. Nython will pick it up. Get it onto the site and planted. For a 2 versus 3 for a Mac 10 and an AK to keep the hopes and aspirations alive in map number 2.
And the AK player has 25 HP.
He's stuck behind pillar. Here's the steps. Will he swing or will he wait? Waiting. He's caught. Didn't even get to swing the bat. He's just struck out. Last alive is Hards out towards camera. The MAC-10 is going to struggle, especially against 3. It swings out to try and stop the defuse, and it cannot. 13-9 for Imperial as they take both opening maps in this best of 5.
And with Dust2 as map number 3, this is going to be a very tall task for Red Canids to try and salvage anything. This map started to look a little bit more plot to play for still here, and Imperial have shown up across the lineup. Dust2 has been a monster. No Way has been fantastic. Phelps hasn't had to do all that much. Same with Vinny and Henny, but they've been good. And we're going to hop into Dust2 here very shortly and see whether or not Red Canids can push this one the distance and take us to what would be our final map of Mirage. But it's T-side start for Imperial here. Glocks out on Dust2. Not the most advantageous of starts, but if you can get the ball rolling early on T-side, it is very hard for the defense to recover. Lacking the op can be huge, and Nithon on that op still has been overall relatively quiet. A couple flashes of brilliance, but for the most part, he has been negated by the rifles and by the op of Henny.
It was mostly the op of Henny in map 1. It was mostly the rifles in map 2. I think the glaring issue for Red Canids is that coldzera's performance has been serviceable, not amazing, and also Davideus has yet to activate when he is one of their stars when required. coldzera starts things off right. Hardzao a second as they try to rebuke this take from middle. Dust2 finds 1. That's the only goings Imperial have thus far. The last alive is Dust2, the very same. P250 Super Soldier. He was the hero of Anubis T-side pistol, but he could not be the hero in this one as he is marooned towards window. Hardzao takes him down from around the box on site towards plat. And Red Canids trying to mount their comeback now, trying to awaken. The question is it too little too late here on Dust2?
That's a very good question, Nate, and it very well might be too little too late. However, it all starts with 1. If you never take that first step, you'll never get anywhere. And Red Canids have taken that first step. A lead on Dust2. A tag through the doors by Henny on a Hardzao will soften him up, but it's mostly just that scout that Imperial have to really threaten anybody on Red Canids. The Deagle of Dust2 may find something as well, but Phelps on the Glock has fallen to the MP9. David pushes out, and he's forced away as the barrels peak. Will actually take him down considerably. 15 HP left. He has to be very careful not to overextend, and Nithon gets tagged by Deagle spam. So Imperial still have some sort of life in this round despite only having Glocks, a Scout, and Deeg, no armor. But then again, remember what Red Canids were able to do with Glocks and Deegs and Tech 9s.
Scout as well. I like to see it. There, peeking his head up, finds 2 on the FAMAS. Tapping is the way you should use this weapon. The Glock will eventually do him in, but that advantage should be insurmountable. Even with the damage done to Davideus and Hardzao. 7-4 of coldzera should have him dead to rights. He gets them both. A nice little lineup for him to keep this round mostly clean. Just a FAMAS dropped on the ground. While it is an upgrade for that MP9 player, still not a desirable weapon by most metrics. Red Canids not really going for the bonus. They're going to invest. Nithon has his op in round number 3. Imperial going for the buy as well. 3 AKs, a Galil for Dust2 to prioritize utility. Respectable call. And Henny leaning into his sniper role, but with the Scout trying to be more mobile and more aggressive than his counterpart on Red Canids.
Yeah, we saw this against 9Z last night too, where Imperial put up a 13-5 victory against the IEM Dallas semifinalists, but hold the phone. No way spams the smoke. Davideus and Venom Zeta are both going to fall. The spam works out perfectly. Now a Molotov in on coldzera's position. He'll have to drop a smoke, but he loses over half his health because of that flame. He'll play around it, and No Way is there for his 3rd. Henny will take down the 4th, and Hardzao's MP9 is left all on its lonesome out towards upper tunnels. Henny's clearing out car for good measure, but it's going to be a round on the board for Imperial, and it shuts down Red Canids' streak at just 2. And remember who won the opening pistol and that second round last night, Nate?
It was 9Z.
It was 9Z. And then that half, what was it? 8-4 half for Imperial on the T side.
Yep. 8-4 ended 13-4. Cards out, saving an MP9 with a player close at his heels. And keep in mind, Imperial not only keeping this one flawless, good for their economy, they also get some hefty upgrades. Dissenti from a Galil to an A1S. Henny from a Scout to an Op. That is a very big upgrade. And 5 Alive is a big, big deal for this T economy. It bursts it forward. As you can see, everybody's going to have around 3.5k in the bank. That, with any sort of loss bonus, will guarantee you another investment in the round following. So, a lot of economic resiliency built early for Imperial. Red Canids are not going to be dissuaded, though, from this round. And, in fact, they know that Imperial have put the pressure on them. Timeout in round number 4. Maybe a little bit early. We'll have to see if the struggles continue. They are investing 2 A1Ss, a Scout for Nithon. It's his turn to do a Henny impression. Venom Zera and Hard Zhao picking up the SMGs, presumably to play towards B.
They could also go for a cat play or something long doors. I've seen that as well for the MP9s. B is the most logical choice of action given the close range engagements, but it does also completely neuter the ability of the MP9 on a retake. So, how will they play the MP9s? We'll find out in 5 seconds here. Henny will probably try and go for an op pick down towards mid. He's got the Sui spawn, so he's going to drop down and take the fight. The MP9s are going to split up, 1 B and 1 long doors A. So they're going to try the best of both worlds, I guess. Molotov long doors and B tons. The op finds nothing, but Phelps takes some damage out towards top middle. That's a decent start for Red Canids here, with at least the tag onto Phelps. Nithon still debating peeking back and forth. But so far, it's just been little hit and run probing attacks. Nothing prolonged, nothing sustained. Just a shot here, a shot there. Imperial ambulate their way through mid. And maybe even go towards a tons pop, but I think a mid doors B split might be the end goal out of this setup.
Would be ideal. There's only one player on B as well. That's one of the SMGs of Hard Zhao. Or, it is Hard Zhao. He's just spotting with a smoke in hand, ready to buy time as needed. He'll drop it in response to that lurk smoke from Descent. He actually threw a flash instead. David Deus combined with Cold Zera, 2 rifles and a Scout on Catwalk. This is a big triple setup. And thus far, it has gone the way of Red Canids. 2 for 1. The rifle gets out. The Scout will fall back to sight. And that is the power of the Scout, tenderizing the adversaries. Venom Zera, very patient in pit, chimes in to catch Phelps, trying to split in towards A. And that Scout, again, just harassing. Peeking, taking a shot, falling back. 15 seconds left. The jig is up. Henny and Dissenti head for the hills. And Red Canids maintain a lead, 3-1 off the back of a tack pause and a forced investment.
Now for Imperial, they still don't have the brightest of T sides on this map. Only a 47.4% win rate, but a 58.8% defense. For the Red Canids, though, it's about even. 51.4 on the attack and 50% even on the defense. So maybe if Red Canids can get out 7-8 rounds of the CT side, they can give themselves some buffer to try and take this out and push it to Mirage. But Imperial have not been hitting the shots that they had prior. Dissenti, 1 kill. Henny, 1 kill. Phelps and Vinny on the goose egg. No Way is the only one who's really had anything, and that was that double spray down out long that turned into a 3-piece that really catapulted something. Phelps, though, will get the opening. Good flashbang onto Venom Zera. David Deus has been revealed out in pit. He is a dead man, surely, but he's able to at least take 1 down with him before he falls. And a little bit of spray damage also taking Phelps to 3. So some still a bit of life for Red Canids. Baby Cold Zera onto Dissenti outdoors. He'll win that fight and clean. That's a big boost to Red Canids and brings them to a level footing of 3v3. Although they do have a bit more advantage as far as health is concerned, not in the firepower department. Hardzao now upgrading to an M4 will help out significantly off the dual Berettas. But it's still a little more equipoised in favor of Red Canids than it would be straight even.
Cold on site, a very aggressive spot over the smoke. Vinny's gonna potentially slip the gap. He does.
But Cold's still safe.
Phelps drops Nithon in the meanwhile. That's the scout dispatched. Cold drops. I think the sound was heard by Vinny.
I think so.
By the way, the crosshair just flicked over. The information's there. Hardzao's on catwalk, holding for that potential split. Saw the kill of his teammate Nithon earlier, but Imperial have grouped up for a play up towards A. Cold Zera dispatched. Hardzao now at 7. This is the round done. 15 seconds left. Bomb going down. And it looks like Hardzao's already being hunted by Phelps, who's in T-spawn aggressively. He's on 3 HP, and yet he's still trying to hunt this player down. They're both on even footing. 3 HP versus 7. Imperial, though, going to notch a second round on the board. Hardzao's not even looking for this. Phelps should have him dead to rights. Maybe even a knife kill. Funny. Nope. Goes with the rifle. Gets the frag. Again, a ball game within 1 on map number 3. Imperial can easily recoup their losses. Red Canids, though, in a very similar spot to the round before last. A scrappy half-buy perhaps on the cards? Yes, it is. 2 MP9s, a 5.7 for Cold, a Scout for Nithon, and a FAMAS for Venom Zera. And there's one thing to cling to for Red Canids. It's the fact that Cold Zera is waking up and is having the performance you would expect on Dust2.
Yeah, it was a little bit quiet on Ancient, which, to the detriment of Red Canids, they could have probably pulled it closer, not been able to pull away on that map. At least they have them here and now, where this is elimination time for Red Canids. This is, they lose this map, and it's all over. They get second place, and, well, my personal philosophy is it's only fun if you win. Now, probably not exactly what you want to instill on your children, but it worked for me, and that's how I think about things. Cold Zeta 1 for 1, but Davideus has the second on to No Way, too. Descenti, Henny, and Vinny trying to find a way to get through this four-spy round. Venom Zeta and Davideus combine for Descenti, leaving just the op and the AK, Henny and Vinny, to work around for something towards B. The bomb making its way on the back of Vinny through upper tunnels. Aggressive hold from Hardzao, though, and Henny's got to be careful, too, out towards mid. The op spots out Davideus, and he's going to back away towards CT. Nithon takes the spot, pops away before he can spot the cross. Vinny's made contact, and he's just going to play around that smoke and hope he doesn't fall. The nade tickles him even further, down to 24 HP.
Somehow, the force spies just keep working.
I know. It's weird.
Very. I feel like Henny's playing far more reserved with the op on Dust2. Not quite nearly as at home as he was. I'm just going to say it's the year of the Scout, Boggs. I feel like the Scout's just more versatile. People play with more
speed
or less reverence. And it really helps out those rifles to do extra damage. Henny swapping to the AK to survive, finds one. Drop comes in, he falls after time. Venom Zera gets that.
He didn't get the AK, though. He only has the FAMAS.
Unfortunate, but hey, that kill is big, especially after time. No op for Henny to work with. This game has been far scrappier than the last two.
That may lead itself towards Red Canids having victory, though. That's the thing. It's been different than what we've seen so far, and what we've seen so far has not worked out well for the defense. And they don't have a good start here, although Cold Zera is able to work around the smoke at pit and get No Way back, but still, it's only No Way right now for Imperial for the most part. Henny and Phelps are barely getting anything done. Although the B card take here. Scout outside doors, still no op. If they can take down Hardzao with only one casualty, maybe none, the B side's open. And that retake is so hard. Nithon at least gets Henny Phelps trays it back. Hardzow flashes himself forward and hops up on top of Stack around the flames. Vinny rounds through. He's not expecting Hardzow up top. The high ground works. But it's up to Descenti now in a 1v2. He's opened this round with a kill and he's going to look for a little bit more. Takes the first plant. Takes the safe one behind post. Split retake here. Cold Zera through tunnels. Venom Zeta. They've heard that. They know. They have to know. But Descenti might even just take aggression off of this. There is a kit for Cold Zeta as well. It's all going to come down to timing. The flash bangs on Cold, so it can't be a high flash through window. He takes a dry fight. They know where he is. Venom Zeta does not peek, though. Descenti underneath. And there's enough time for the 10-second defuse, but that's an expensive one to win for Red Canids, and it's going to be tough for them to maintain a stable buy when Imperial's getting bomb plants. Only thing going for them, half buy is the best case scenario right now for the T's.
Some breathing room for Red Canids to hopefully stabilize. 5-2 secured, though. This is the biggest lead they've had in the first half, period, thus far.
Or of any game.
Yeah, it's the biggest lead in general, but yeah, in both first halves went 8-4. Already have 5. Pistols, Eagles, P250s. Big dream.
The dream's working.
Might be a reality. Somehow the half buys just keep working. Rifle picked up for No Way. He might drop it over due to his HP. He will to Descenti. Those two have been partners in crime throughout this series. Sure, Descenti's descended a bit on this third map, but still doing well. I think it's a deagle headshot across the map. It doesn't one-shot at every range. Nithon's down to 11. He's going to fall back towards Cat.
This might be a surrendered round for Red Canids here.
Bomb goes down without a hitch, it will be.
And Hardzow might get caught too. This really relies on Nithon's op. David so far away on the rotate, and Hardzow is caught. P250 strikes. The skeet shot misses, and it's save time. Run for the hills, boys. Heidi's out on B. David Deus going to get the kill on the backstab. That's free, but there is no chance for a retake here for the CT side. They're going to have to attempt to save, and if I'm Imperial, I'm going full send on the hunt. This is a free round. You can afford to lose everybody if you can take the guns out of the hands of the defenders. Helps out massively. Phelps spots the head of Nithon, but his op won't miss that time. But now they know it's a save, and so Imperial will evacuate the site, go for the hunt. Although Descenti will make sure the M4 moves over into the next round, I still would say go full hunt here. Doesn't matter if you save that gun or not. Take these away from Red Canids.
So full board, you have extra money in the bank because it was a half buy. So yeah, just hunt them down as best you can. Not going to force the issue though. No Way gets another A1S now for his troubles. Do Imperial go for the op? That's my biggest question at this stage. Hasn't been super impactful for them. Hasn't been super impactful for either team.
It's just surprising considering the two oppers in the server.
Yeah, surprising given their pedigree.
Yeah.
I can't recall exactly, but I feel Henny last night was doing pretty well with it on Dust2.
Dust2 last night, he did solid, but it was really Descenti who took over the map.
I do remember it was Descenti just taking over like 23 kills and
I think he had 20
rounds.
kills end of half one or something crazy.
There's an op opener.
You asked.
Asking for it. I'll receive it. Nithon gets that. One of the two saved weapons having impact as we're back to half buys. And as we know, half buys favor the half buying team. I guess this is a forced buy, not even a half buy, but still. A compromised buy has been favored in this map thus far. Cold Zera up top finds one. Caught on a trade. Venom Zera now racing forward with the 5-7. Will at least get a FAMAS in his hands. You see Seen that swing on Catwalk before. Davideos cannot succeed. A lot of damage done, but no kill received. Still a touch and go, though. 3 versus 3. Phelps and Descenti both tagged rather low. And the MP9 down towards lower tunnels could chip them away from behind if timing suits him. Python's in T-spawn?
It all comes down to Venom, though. Molotov CT, another Molotov used for sight. A third one onto Goose. Venom's out of force into the open. He's able to get 1 for 1 out of that. That is huge. Now Imperial have to go for the full send onto the A site. Nithon's off has made it through long. Up on Catwalk, it shreds Phelps, the MP9 of Hardzau. And Henny walks into the scope of Nithon. The half, or the force buy, as you adequately called it, wins the round for the Red Canids again. The op stays alive. The FAMAS is upgraded to an AK. An Imperial no bomb plant will have to scrounge something together to get a buy up in this round. This kill from Cold Zeta is huge, but the fact that Venom Zeta is able to get a FAMAS out of this helps immensely because he's able to fight out of Goose and at least drop 1. If it's a 2v3, it's a lot more difficult for Red Canids on the retake. Instead, those little details that make a big difference. Nithon blinded, takes a shot, not going to get anything, but he'll take a second one through, and despite having his vision obscured, he will find Henny. Phelps takes half damage, eliminates Cold Zeta. A little bit more on the nade, as Venom Zeta this time takes up his fallen comrade's spot, but he shows. Nithon, however, does not miss the next try, and we have a 3 versus 3. AK for No Way and Descenti. 2 working up are Vinny and Descenti, and No Way. The op from Nithon not finding success at all this time. The Mag 7's around the smoke, and it also falls up to Hardzau now in the 1 versus 3. The 4 spies, the half buys, the weaker investments are winning it all, and Descenti puts the final nail in that coffin. Vinny will have the op for Henny, a 4th on the board for Imperial, and the money dashed against the shoreline for Red Canids.
The thing about 4 spies going back and forth is that it's going to eventually favor the T's. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just the economic reality. The rifles are cheaper. The Molotovs are cheaper. No kits required. It just simply favors the T side. Even the SMGs are cheaper. The MAC-10 is a full $200 cheaper than the MP9.
And it's not much worse.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely not much worse, but it's still pales in comparison. The Scout for Nithon to challenge the was it an op? What did No Way have? It might have been something
AK,
scoped.
I think. No, it was the op because Henny just picked it up unless he threw the AK away.
He had spawn.
But
He must have had spawn. No Way must have had spawn.
Yeah.
And again, my hypothesis: it's the year of the Scout finding its mark. Henny's also tied down to 71, presumably by that Scout through the wall. Jump up Catwalk.
Gosh.
Oh, Nithon could have had the headshot there, but still damage is great.
I like the damage there. He secures the damage rather than trying to go for the kill, which if he takes too long, he misses entirely. At least he's getting the damage for the 5.7s for the Eagles. Tag him and bag him. That's all they need to do. And now he's on B. He's just been everywhere, running around with that Scout in hand, looking to take over this map as we tick down under the 50-second mark. Descenti looking to entry through that smoke. Once it fades, Nithon can pop out, deal some damage. Henny's op is here as well, but Henny's a 1 tag to the might of the Scout. He'll tag Descenti as well, who trades it back. The 5.7 cannot find the kill as Descenti's double entried in towards the B site. That could salvage things here as Red Canids are backing away. They don't want to go for this now. They're going to elect to save what they have and try again in the next round. And I guess considering the fact that it is last round of the half, next round, there's no money for the CT side. The armor will go a long way to bolstering their buy-up. But imagine what it could have been if that 5.7 gets a kill, or if Descenti sees Henny before he sees, I believe it was Descenti actually that he saw first. So, just one of those things where it's a game of pixels.
Surprised I haven't checked middle for that dropped weapon. I believe it's still there. Terrorists win. 5-6. Imperial very close to tying us up at the half. Eagle 5-7. The only things really saved for this final round. Auto shotgun for Davideos. MP9s. Dropped the round. Scout for Nithon as well is a good call. Hard Zao on a CZ75. And Imperial going for 2 ops yet again. Descenti and Henny both carrying those weapons. But they need to be careful. They do have to contend with that deadly scout of Nithon.
It's interesting to see Descenti on the op. His rifling capabilities are so impactful, we've seen that. It's also interesting to see a CZ75 out in server. That's something you see very rarely. In fact, I think these days you see a Zeus more often than you see the CZ. But an interesting stack towards A here from the CT side. They have a lot of information. Hardzao is getting the spot out towards middle as well. There is a flank watch. That's Vinny. But the ops are looking for that. And the scout will actually spot both. They think they know there's 2 ops in play here now. And Red Canids are just going to play around with the shotgun in the smoke. That's going to be an unpleasant surprise for Imperial as they stroll up long, getting closer towards the side. Venom Zeta releases the MP7, the MP9, and now David has Phelps on a platter with a $900 kill reward. Not that that matters at this stage of the half, but that's still another kill. He's traded out by Henny. Descenti over at Car. Venom Zeta spamming away, looking for chip damage as the smoke fades. The bomb has not crossed yet, and Descenti tagged down, but he removes Nithon. Vinny onto Venom Zeta, leaving Hardzao and Cold Zeta. Hardzao reigned with the CZ, brings it to a 1v2. Very winnable for Cold Zeta, considering the health of these 2 players. The only problem, they both have ops at the time. He can wait for the bomb plant here, Cold. He does not have a kit, but he gets the spot. He takes the fight, and Descenti shuts him down. A 6-6 half now, as Descenti not quite as 20 kills in the last series they played against a 9Z on this map, but still, he took over late, had a slow start, but Imperial bring it back to a 6-all scoreline into their strongest side of this map. This is where things really can get dangerous for the Red Canids.
Yes, it is. We'll have to see exactly how this pistol round transpires. A lot rests upon it. We're at a tied ball game, 6 apiece. Just so you know, Boggs, the auto shotgun, I believe the kill reward is either 600 or maybe even 450 now.
I didn't realize they nerfed it. I thought it's still 900.
They nerfed it. Same with the CZs up to 300, if I'm not mistaken. Pistols up catwalk is the call, and that's where Red Canids are going to find their grave. Hard Zao, the last remaining. He was towards long doors in hopes of aggression there. Now trying to use the Glock at range. Should not work out by any metric. He's dinked down to 6 and caught by Descenti. Imperial take the lead for what feels like the first time in this map.
It is, in fact, the first time in this map. It is a critical juncture. If Imperial can take this lead all the way through, easy. 3-1 final in the grand final, best of 5, reverse sweep. But the other thing is they're playing with fire. They can get up to an 8-6 lead, and they should here against the Glocks. But if they lose the gun round, lose the next, the money becomes so difficult for the CT side to build up. The 2 kills on the MP9 are going to help out with that, but it's still a situation where Imperial are not necessarily in smooth waters. They're not close to shore. They're still out in the wild blue yonder, and they can get caught by a little bit of a sudden storm. There's still danger.
It's not like an 8-4 half where they won the pistol and got 9 and 10. It's a 6-6. They're now just only ahead by 2. And now disadvantaged because of the... I say disadvantaged. They actually do have 3 A1Ss and that scout. The MP7 is actually probably the most serviceable SMG at range. This is doable. Vicente. Duel in middle. One. Coldzera down. The veteran taken out. And now weapon dropped to his teammate. Vicente going for the scout instead. I like this call. He's going to try to look for something top middle. A B-pop is going to be the call for the Red Canids. 3 players are here. A 4th is in middle. Maybe actually a walk in towards the angle. Vicente caught in transition, taken down. The MP7 going to be tested hard. Finding one, tagging a second, almost to death, but he is traded. Nython tagged and bagged by Phelps. Hard Zhao still low on 11. That nade might even finish him if he pushes any further forward. Advantage for Imperial. The bomb only just going down.
Henny's spam takes Venom Zeta down low into the red at 20 HP. The bomb's ticking away, but the HP on the Red Canids defenders now are just bleeding out. That's a huge one, but only one from Venom Zeta. No way doubles up! And that pushes Imperial to 9. The bomb plant can get another buy for the T's, as they do have that loss bonus built up. But it's a bonus round victory for Imperial. They leave it with 2 AKs as well, presumably. Yes, indeed, they do.
Money's actually not that great either.
I mean, it's
aren't even good.
Better.
2 are at like 35. They can't even get AKs.
Yeah. Half buy?
Seems like the call. Nython's going for the scout.
Ooh.
Expect that hustle and grind.
I do like the scout call.
And Venom's going for a hero rifle as well. He's at 650 left in the bank, so he's relying heavily on a bomb plant in around number 16. P250, Tech 9, Deagle round out the investment. And nade top mid very timely for Vicente. Red Canids, though, they know the timing.
Little bit of taps through by Vicente, but he's not doing anything besides getting tagged by a P250 at range. Mid abandoned now by the CT side, and it's not a bad idea. You don't want to let one of your players with a rifle get overwhelmed by pistols. Get the armor pistol player picking that up and running forward, getting kills. Instead, Red Canids will have to rely on the AK of Venom Zeta to really get them anything opening up this round. Nython's scout can come through for support and tags. It's probably not what you're going to be looking at to get the kills, however. And the distinct lack of utility to clear out angles is going to be tough for Red Canids to overcome. There is a Goose player tucked in. Now help from Henny's op-down catwalk. Smoke CT, smoke on the run, but Elbow can still be watched for by Henny's overall sniper, the big green gun. No skin. It was a drop over to him, so I'm sure he's not too happy about that. But that's neither here nor there. Is no way eliminates Hard Zhao on the flank. Tag on not the bag on Nython. Phelps is blind. His teammates flashing forward. Henny takes down David. No Goose clear. And now Phelps can activate with 2. Coldzera 1 on the Deagle and a 1v5. And it is not anything to write home about. Imperial double digits now as they have locked Red Canids out of getting anything on their T side. Imperial's defense standing tall with only 3 rounds to go between them and the championship at ESL Challenger League Season 47.
Imperial looking good. They're showing us a variety of different setups on the CT side, completely abandoning middle, putting multiple people there to really hold it down and fight towards catwalk. Plethora of different looks, continuing to flummox the Red Canids as they fail to even get a bomb plant. Hopper's duel is a potential, though. And he has one. I found the other. They both have had similar performances on this third map. Again, hands off middle for Imperial. Spotting it from doors is Vicente. And he dividing his attention between catwalk and CT as well. Phelps dropped down. No way. Much like the round prior, is going to slink up on doors. This might be an issue. There are 3 players here now. He is going to be pressured very early. If you can find 2, that would be big. It'd be a lot of information because the bomb is here. He's going to play the close corner, try to dodge the flashes, and just go for spots. Hard Zhao's going to clear him, though, and that is a win for Hard Zhao. Kill secured. Now they can run out. 28 seconds left, though. Dick has to come through rather quickly. Smoke on Cat is exploded, but Phelps gets 2. Henny finds 1 before falling to the Opera's duel, and Phelps throws a nade to buy some time. coldzera at range drops to Senti. We're back to even footing, and coldzera's not done yet. Going up the ramp, he finds another, securing the advantage and the site in a nick of time. Vinny has been quiet on this map. Nothing much has been asked of him. He is now in a 1 versus 2 clutch situation. The AUG at range can work towards long, but he needs to be wary of that op. It's towards the box. Was he spotted? Now he definitely is. Tagging coldzera, can't quite get the kill. An upgrade to an AK. He taps down Nython, the last alive. coldzera, the veteran, on 7 HP, swings, and he misses. It's Imperial to steal it away off the back of Vinny's 1 versus 2, and they are slinking ever closer to this sweep 3-1.
Slinking, I think that's too furtive of a word to use. They're marching at this point. There is no stopping this Imperial side right now by Red Canids. Still shut out on this second half. And Imperial, 2 ops now, Henny and Descenti on the CT side. They already won a 2-op round back the last round of the first half. Now they're going to give it a go on the defense. Galil, AKs, minimal utility. A scrim here for the T's as David will spray down No Way. Phelps around blue is able to take 2! A huge double kill from him, and still Henny's around the smoke. Hard Zhao drops the bomb back, but he's got to be careful not to get caught by Henny, who now knows exactly what's happening as the Molotov burns. Hard Zhao retreats, recovers the bomb, and so we have 3 versus 3 with about 1:20 to go. Minimal utility for both sides, although it's actually slightly favoring Imperial with the 2 incendiaries, even though those are weaker now after the nerf. B site target by Red Canids, but look at the rotation now. Descenti back plat, Vinny over towards door, Henny has all the information over on A. This is read like a book here by Imperial. However, the op has just chased them out, and Red Canids might just call the audible and go either middle or up catwalk back to A. Henny's flanked them, though, and he stabs coldzera in the back. Nython swings, cannot take down the op of Henny. He's got 2, not the 3rd, it's Vinny's. But however the case, the kills may come, Imperial have 6 match points, championship points.
What was the most contentious first half of the series has given away to what is potentially the most one-sided end. It is 12-6. Actually, I was wrong. It's 13-4 on map number 1, but that's an aside. 12-6 is the score, and it is 6 in a row on this CT side of Imperial, with 0 going the way of Red Canids on this second half. Scout again for Nython can be a present threat, but he is slowed down tremendously. 3 Galils is a glaring issue, especially at range, and Descenti only continues to pile on the pain. Nython caught through the smoke. No Scout shenanigans to be had in what is potentially the final round of this series. Descenti's still hungry for more as well. Again, a multitude of looks. This time around, it's mid-centric. 1 on catwalk, 2 towards the doors. That flash on catwalk does not dissuade Henny, who finds a second. Davideus finally finding some inroads, catches Descenti in middle, puts an end to his opping terror. Still a lot more to do. They smoke for the mid to B. But catwalk might be the name of the game as Venom Zera gets control and snags the bomb.
Smoke deep into CT. 4v3 in favor of Imperial, looking to put Red Canids to bed and claim the title here. Vinny looking to lock down B over through window, sprays for 1, continues it onto Venom Zeta, and he's doubled up. 1 remaining player for Red Canids. It's Davideus, and he's got 1, but only 1. He's tagged, he's bagged. Imperial are the champions of ESL Challenger League Season 47 from South America. Utter
Dominance, a very different look from the likes of Imperial in this one from what they had in that last matchup, that last head-to-head a couple days before. Again,